Boris Johnson is injecting political firepower into the Brexit talks after fresh clashes over fishing left negotiations deadlocked. The Prime Minister is in close contact with top Eurocrat Ursula von der Leyen as both sides push for a breakthrough before the looming deadline next week. Downing Street sources said the PM and the European Commission President were speaking, given there isn't long left, to reach an agreement. It is understood Mrs. von der Leyen is so keen to wrap up a deal she is now heavily lobbying EU coastal states to accept a compromise on fishing. The Brussels boss was said to have kept Mr. Barnier in the dark over the phone call with the Prime Minister amid concerns her chief negotiator is not willing to offer more ground to Britain. Mrs. von der Leyen is also in constant contact with all parties, and is likely to hold talks with key figures, such as France's Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel, as the Brexit talks continue. But the talks remained stuck last night after fresh clashes over fishing quotas. Eurocrat Michel Barnier told diplomats last night that most issues are settled but differences on access remain difficult to bridge. He suggested the EU's view was the UK is not moving enough yet to clinch a fair deal on fisheries. Downing Street sources rejected suggestions the government is planning to compromise on fishing access. It followed reports the PM proposed that EU boats should hand back 30 to 35% by value of their current catches in Britain's coastal waters, to be phased in over 5 years. That is down from an initial demand to cut it by 60% over 3 years, but the compromise was reportedly rejected by Brussels. Elspeth MacDonald, Chief Executive Officer at the Scottish Fishermen's Federation, said 35% would be completely unacceptable. She said, it would be a derisory shift in the uplift that our industry needs to see and would be a complete failure of these negotiations from our point of view. What we expect the government to hold out for is to make sure that we absolutely must control access to our fishing waters. We must have unfettered control of our waters. Ms. MacDonald said no fishing agreement in the world was linked to a trade deal and the issues had been linked by Brussels, so it has leverage in the talks. Business leaders warned that even if a deal is struck in the next week, firms are facing disruption. Josh Hardy, CBI Deputy Director General, said, with time almost up, the economic realities of failing to agree a deal cannot be hostage to politics anymore. Disruption is now inevitable, it's just a matter of how much. The only responsible course of action to limit damage to communities across Europe is to get a deal and get ready, this week.